Hi there, I'm Carrie from the Toft Alpaca Shop, and in this video we're going to look at the Hyacinth stitch. It's a really great lace stitch that is a lot easier than it actually looks. It's great in fine weight, lace weight and DK alpaca. What I've done here is one repeat of the 6-row pattern, and I cast on using both of my needles together. So I cast on using the thumb method with 2 needles together. I'm using 3.5s here, so I just doubled them up to make sure that my cast on stitches were nice and loose. And the reason why you need it to be loose, I'm going to show you right now. So to set up my first row, I'm going to knit 2 stitches. Now this next part of the pattern, I need to purl 5 stitches together, so you can see why I need it to be loose, because I would not be able to get my needle in here otherwise. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my yarn is already at the front. I need to purl those 5 together. There we are. And now in the next one stitch, I'm going to make 5. So I need to knit, let's take the yarn to the back. Knit 1, bring it to the front to purl 1. Bring it to the back to knit 1, bring it to the front to purl 1, and just one more, so I bring it to the back to knit 1. So I've knitted and purled, knit, purl, knit into 1 stitch. So let's go again. So the next, we're purling 5 together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we are. Purling those 5 together, yarn to the back because I need to knit, yarn to the front. In the same stitch, I'm not taking the stitch over, I'm knitting and purling 5 times into this 1 stitch. So I'm taking my yarn to the front and the back, making sure it's in the right place to do what it is that I need to do, whether it's knitting or purling. Just need that one more. Knit, and there you go. Let's purl those 5 together again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I haven't taken my yarn to the front. There we go. This is the key to this as well. Stitch is nice and loose, and just being aware of where your stitches, where your yarn is. Purling those 5 together, and then knitting and purling and knitting and purling and knit one more time into that last stitch. There we go. And you can see I've already started to make that hyacinth shape there. So we've got another couple of rows just to finish this now. So that was our first one. This next one, I just need to purl this row all the way along. So I haven't got too many stitches. Again, I'm keeping my tension really quite loose at this point. I'm just going to purl all of those stitches that I just made. You see, don't drop those off. Because you've taken your yarn to the back and the front each time, those stitches should be quite well formed. They won't be like wraps. They will be actual stitches. You do just need to make sure you are knitting them all, or purling them all in this instance. Got a bit of fluff there that I don't want. We can get rid of that. So we're purling all the way along this row. Yeah, just making sure I'm picking up each one of those stitches that I've made, and I've got to my first 2 which I just knitted, so that they're absolutely fine. I can just purl those. Okay, so that's our second row. Our third row, we need to knit 2 stitches. 1 and 2. We're going to do the reverse of what we did last time. We're going to knit, purl, knit, purl, knit into this 1 stitch here, Then we're going to purl 5. So knit, yarn to the front, purl, yarn to the back, knit, yarn to the front, purl, and then last time yarn to the back to knit that 5th stitch in that one. And now the purl 5 together. So have I made my tension loose enough? We'll soon see. 3, 4, 5. There we go. It's a little bit tight, but I'm okay there. Oh, just make sure that it comes through the right way. Give myself a little bit of extra yarn. And we're just going to repeat the same thing. We're going to knit. Sorry, I did that wrong, didn't I? I should be knitting. Yarn to the back. Knit, purl, knit, purl, and knit. There we go. There are my 5 stitches I made out of the one, and now I need to purl 5 together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, see, I've definitely made it a bit too tight here, but we'll manage. And 5. Yarn around, and there's my 5. So again, yarn to the back, making the 5 out of these. To the front to purl, and the last time to the back to knit. And now I've got my 5 stitches left. Well, I've got 6 stitches actually, because I haven't quite followed the amount of repeats that you need to, so we'll just ignore that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just double checking. There we go. Bring it through. Have I picked up the right bit? No, I haven't. See, in action here. Need to make your stitches nice and loose, because I am having trouble. There we go. Okay. And let's just purl that last one. There we go. Okay. We're just going to purl this row. So as you're doing this, you're going to be following the pattern, and you're going to have, if you're making the mittens, you're going to have around 50 stitches. If you're making the snood or the cowl, you're going to have a hell of a lot more stitches. So if it helps you, put some stitch counters in, and you'll be able to keep track of where it is that you are supposed to be knitting and purling and making your stitches, and indeed decreasing your stitches. So this is row 4, and this next row is going to set us up nicely with some nice loose stitches to start with our purling 5 together again. So I'm going to turn. So in this 5th row, it's indicated in the pattern as K000. And what that means is we're just going to wrap 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to do that to the end. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So not only does it give us nice loose stitches to knit our next lace part of the pattern, but it also creates that lovely hyacinth shape to the stitch. 3. So after this we just have one more row, and that's one repeat of our pattern done. And you will get faster, as with every pattern, as you're doing it. You'll just get faster. One, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and our last stitch. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, the very last row, the 6th row of our hyacinth pattern. we are going to purl and we're going to drop those wraps. So purl, and there they go. So as long as you've got your needle into this stitch, there's our stitch with our wraps. Let's pop it in there, purl, and let the wraps go. Do this nice and loosely, and then you'll be perfectly set up for your next row and have nice loose stitches that you can purl 5 together with. There we are. Just letting go of those wraps there. It really is a very pretty stitch. It takes a little bit of practice, but if you want to challenge yourself a little bit more with something, perhaps this is your second lace pattern that you want to give a go with, then it's absolutely perfect. I'd say maybe if you're a newbie to knitting lace, then perhaps go for something a tiny bit simpler to begin with, because you might get yourself really tangled and then just give up lace altogether, and that would just be really disappointing. Okay, here we are. Just do this one here. Let go of those wraps, and there you go. You can see the hyacinth. So once we go with our next ones, you'll see that these will be pulled in just like they have done here. So that's the hyacinth stitch.